Hey guys, I'm Brian,
And I'm Allison,
and this is our.
life in front of the bleachers.
So, we want to do a couple of different episodes of a topic that, hurts most coaches a good bit. And it, like me and like everybody else who gets in this profession for a long time, these hurt longer than the wins, and those are the losses. When you lose a game, you feel like you've let everybody down. When you lose a game, all that preparation and time lost, either with the family, time lost during practice, and you feel as though you should have been doing something else. There's a lot of regret that goes into the post game. And sometimes it's so residual, uh, the regret, that it takes a toll energy for every other aspect of your life. So you've always been there. I think over the course of our 27 to 30 years, coaching. I mean, we've been married for 27, but I've been coaching longer. Uh, you've been there for all but maybe
Maybe three or four, and it would have to do with wedding.
not yours.
Nah, well, you never know. Just kidding. No, weddings and that's siblings or cousins, um, or
Because
funerals.
it wasn't because of giving birth, because you never missed a game after
Never
birth, did you?
missed a game for my birth.
Not your birth, but your boy's birth. That's for sure. Yeah, and they you had them on the sidelines when they were days old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have them.
Those losses that you were able to witness, what does it look like to you after those losses?
It just sometimes it hurts, and that's when everybody's put everything out there on the table. They've done everything they could, and it hurts because you want to see your boys win. um and then sometimes it's frustrating as all get out because it just
Should have gone
um
a different way, but it
should have
didn't.
gone a different way when it didn't.
And sometimes you got outside factors, and sometimes they wear stripes, and sometimes they they wear the other team's jersey. Sometimes they wear your own jersey. Sometimes
Right.
they're a coach. So there's just so many different things and variables in it. But the hardest ones to swallow are usually the last ones every year. When you're going through and you have that senior night, you have all that, or the last playoff game and you hadn't won, and you're not moving on. Those are hard, and you see it from a different vantage point.
Yeah, because it's the last time with the boys. Pretty much the last time I'll see them because don't I don't work at the school, so I'm not up there. But yeah, it just it's just losing my seniors.
Yeah,
It it's sad, and I hate it.
and it's hard as a senior when it's the finality kicks in. For many of them, it's like what am I going to do on Monday? I don't go to practice.
Mhm.
So many of them will avoid me for weeks on end. I don't want to avoid them, but I want to avoid football because once it's over, I want to kind of sit back and I know,
Decompress.
yeah, and I think they want to do the same. But usually after weeks go on, we get back to the resolve that there were some good times in that year. But I do recall one specific regular season game that was probably the hardest to swallow. And I'm coaching at a school that traditionally hadn't had a lot of success, just like all of them for the most part. But this team was picked near the bottom of the conference, very strong conference, and state champions come out of the conference, and we were predicted to be at the bottom. And we had played the very top team the week before, and we were riddled with injuries after that, including quarterback, running backs, linemen, linebackers, defense. It was almost every position was without a starter or two. So it was going to be very, very difficult. And we were able to take some JV kids, play them one night, and then still you could play them the next night up to a certain number of quarters. And we had all of our JV kids that could function getting ready to play for us on Friday, but they were had to play Thursday too because we didn't have enough kids to maintain a JV if we hadn't.
So when you're going through the walkthroughs and everything on Thursday, your JVs that are playing on Friday are not there to
Yeah,
go
so
through the
they're
walkthroughs.
playing in their game on Thursday, getting ready for theirs, and we're going through special situations on that Thursday. So you're going through every scenario that could go through and could happen in every special team's special situation, offensive, defensively. So you don't get the same attention because those kids are at the game. So the next night, we're having to play all these JV kids. And we got down 14-0 in the first half. And I checked that. It was 13-0. The reason it was 13-0 was that we had blocked an extra point and the ball went past the line of scrimmage and went under the crossbar. So it was 13-0. I think we scored right before the half to make it 13-7, and then they had scored right at the beginning part of the second half. So it was 20-7 going into fourth quarter, and we got backup quarterback, backup, all this stuff. And most of the kids you'd think would quit, but that didn't happen against this top-ranked team in the state, one of the tops. And we plowed back. And with about a minute, just over a minute to go in the game, we scored to make it 20-20. Kick the extra point. We're up 21-20. We kick off to them. They come past midfield on a couple of big plays, and I finally get to the point when they run out of bounds. I'll call my last timeout in anticipation they're going to kick a field goal. What do you remember leading up to that?
I just remember the stands being just so exciting and everybody's like just cheering hard and we thought we were going to do it. We're there. We're going to do it. And at that field, there's no track. So we are right on top. You are sitting on top of the sidelines. So I was not on the sidelines. They're very short sidelines at that school. So I was actually in the stands up at a point not near anybody with our youngest. I don't know where our oldest was.
So we're lining up there for the last second field goal to go against it. And I called a timeout, and we talked about how we're going to block it. And my mistake was talking about something that rarely happens. I talked about that extra point that we'd blocked. I said, look, we blocked that extra point early in the game. If we block it again, it goes past the line of scrimmage. Peter the ball, get away from it. And all those JV kids who had been playing the night before, it seemed like all of them were on that doggone field goal block at the end because we were just too tired or worn out. We didn't have any bodies. And sure shooting, boy, we went in there. They executed the mess out of it, and we blocked that field goal, and that ball rolled past back beyond midfield on the other side of the field, and time runs out. But our kids run off the field. Celebrating that they had done what they were supposed to do. And we as a coaching staff were pointing and just jumping up and down. Get the ball, get the ball, get the ball. They thought we were just jumping and having a good time and celebrating. Nobody in the stands, I think even including the fans.
The fans on our side didn't know either. And they are cheering and they are so excited because we won. Except my son, who's in elementary school, starts screaming, "What are they doing? Get the ball. What are they doing? And Mom, stop them. What are they doing?"
Well, we had one kid that's when T-bowing was popular, and we had him, in the middle of the field, T-bowing in the middle of the field while the ball's still in play. And there wasn't but one kid on the other team that figured out what was going on. It felt like an eternity.
It did.
And he picked it up, and he ran about 50-some yards, and ended up scoring on the last play and beating us. So here it was, a top-ranked school in the state, and we should have won. So after the game, everybody's frustrated, everybody's upset, everybody's crying, and, you don't know what to say. There's just not much to say other than, guys, you're right there. I let you down. I was angry. I was screaming at myself. I was screaming at everything. And then I just said, all right, it's my fault. So then the newspaper comes over and they ask, well, what happened in the last play? And I said, well, it's just my fault. I miscommunicated. And the kids are going to learn from it. I'm going to learn from it. We're going to move forward. Well, they took that news story and turned it into the dumbest coach in America tells his kids to get away from the ball. I'm a college football coach's son. I've been around football since I was sperm. I knew when that ball crossed past the line of scrimmage, it's a live ball, or what goes behind the line of scrimmage, a live ball goes past the line of scrimmage, it can be a dead ball. I knew the difference between the two.
And even our son in elementary school knew, so I knew that he was going to go ahead and put it on himself
Well, I had to because
I
they're
know.
kids, and I'm the head coach. The
Well,
buck
and
stops
that's
with
the
me.
thing that people need to. I don't need to preach, but when you're a football coach and you're coaching high schoolers, you are your job's on the line, and you have 14 to 18-year-olds you're counting on. Um, and you needed them to perform the rest of the season too. So
Yeah, so this is the middle of the season, so I had to figure out how not to beat them down and blame them. Let me take responsibility, but it wasn't just that news article that popped up. Then
it
Yahoo Sports picked up on it, USA Today. They said it was a
ESPN.
ESPN not top 10. I wouldn't know because I wasn't paying attention to anything for the next 48, 72 hours. And
No, you did not come home.
no,
Um,
the whole
that the
weekend.
whole weekend. I
No.
think we saw you Sunday night quickly.
Well, I was embarrassed. I was disappointed. I was a lot of things, and I mostly immature and dumb to take it that personal and not be with my family. And there are many times you figure this out and you just say,
Get home.
hey dummy, stop being so doggone plum disease. Poor little old me, get up off your butt and come home. And I need to be slapped every now and again, but that one hurt pretty good. So the biggest question mark was going into Monday, how was I going to address the team? Well, my mail inbox on my email was full with, "You're an idiot. You need to take your car to the nearest cliff and go ahead and jump off of it. You are a disgrace to the game. You should never coach any sport ever again. You should never be." It was bad. I got a handwritten letter the middle of the week demanding that I quit and never be around kids again. It was a page long, and they didn't know who I was. It was anonymous. So it hurt. It did because again, I felt responsible. There's no doubt about it. But that Monday, I wanted to make sure I had the kids get over it, just like you essentially told me, get over it. Let's
Mhm.
go. And so we went ahead and froze the video. I put little thought bubbles all over top of it. I put little meme things. That was before memes were, I guess. But uh, thought bubble while he was sitting there T-bowing. I was like, Jesus, take the wheel. And then had all this other stuff going. And the kids, they just laughed hysterically. The coaches laughed hysterically. And it was
And
like we
how
were
did they
free.
respond?
We won the next 6 games, I believe, in a row, and then we went to the second round of playoffs, which was a big deal for that school, and hadn't been there. I don't know they've been there since, but either way, that was something for those kids. It was something for me. I had to learn. Some things happen that are out of your control. There are some things that you can do everything in your power, and you're still going to miss a detail that's going to end up costing you, not just in football, not just in sports, but in life. And we've done things in our marriage where we've tried to make it work, and through the communication gap that usually exists on her end, where I have no idea what Allisonese means because it's a different language.
Well,
Well, what? That's
okay.
true. No, I'm just kidding. I'm perfect. I'm a perfect listener. I'm a perfect
Perfect
communicator.
mumbler.
Mumble it. You guys probably heard that in the earlier broadcast. She's like, "You gotta stop mumbling." I understood. I'm trying. I put this thing closer to my face so maybe you can hear it. So sometimes you got to make mistakes so that you can learn from them. But either way, when you do this stuff, you got to have some hope in the future, and you have to do something now to make that future brighter. And she helped me do that. She slapped me and said, "Stop. Worry
I
about
think I
tomorrow."
left you because
You,
actually the boys and I we went to the beach for the weekend.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't remember that. So you just
But
left
the
me.
boys were sad. So I was dealing with two sad boys and left you home. You could
I
help
wasn't at
yourself.
home though. I just
No,
stayed in
you
my
weren't.
office.
Yeah,
So,
you could help yourself.
either way, we've all gone through stuff like that in our lives, but the coaching profession puts it on spectacle for everybody, and somebody's got to be to blame in those moments. And it's amazing how much different people treat you when you win versus when you lose,
Yeah.
and it's understandable. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt, and I guess that's life. When you get the job, everybody wants to celebrate you. When you lose your job, nobody wants to be around you. It just seems like it's like that. So we've learned lessons, and I hope that we bestow these lessons to our kids, our own sons, but hopefully they learn from that, build some resiliency, but also our players. So I think we've We certainly callous because of some of these things, and they hurt. But we look back and we smile and chuckle, ha ha ha, no biggie now. But it hurt a lot during those moments,
Yeah.
and those senior nights hurt a lot during those moments too.
Every year
Every year. Well, this is certainly our life.
in front of the bleachers.
We hope to see you guys again. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And we always have to kind of go through that ahead, but I'm sure it'll be at the bottom here with our editor at
Hopefully.
some point in time. So, all right, guys, take care. We'll see you next episode.